Everyone mentioned today is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, and everything I discuss here is theory until proven fact, even if it is.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life. I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on this shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seeds as I spread, with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
Hey guys, how you going? Good to see everyone today. We got out to lunch. Hit the like button please guys. Thank you so much. Out to lunch. Deb, how you going? Sherry, how you going? Geoloft, how you going? Good to see you guys. Dealey, how you going? Michelle, how you going? Good to see ya. And George, good to see you too. J1, how you going? Good to see you guys. Okay, let's get into, where are we? The news. Well, a little bit of news anyway. Okay, and after this we will go on to Rumble where we will do a watch with me, the X-Files, the episode Arcadia. I know we've done the Twilight Zone's Arcadia over there, but we'll do the X-Files one too. Okay, MJ Truth Ultra said, oh my God. Dear Heavenly Father, merciful God who watches over the innocent and the vulnerable, we come before you in sorrow and righteous anger over the heartbreaking news of migrant children who've been lost, exploited and harmed under the failures of our human systems. These precious souls trafficked from their homelands come here to only face unimaginable horrors. Lord, we cry out, we pray and ask you to bring swift and unyielding justice to those responsible for these crimes against humanity. Can I get an amen? Yep, you can get one from me. Amen. Migrant children lost under the Biden administration have been found dead or working as sex slaves. And this one, also, where is it? I got RFK Jr. talks about the 476,000 plus missing children. They were sending kids to parking lots with shipping containers. RFK Jr. says they've rescued 22,000 children so far after knocking on 80,000 plus different addresses. Shipping containers, though? Lord have mercy. Well, we know what they were doing with them. They were shipping them. Either that or they're using them as the, like a torture chamber or something like that. Okay, I've got my cat in here, so if you hear bumping against the microphone, that would be the cat. Drew Pavlou said, let's state a simple truth. These men are not Australian. They don't even want to be Australian. They wave the Hezbollah flag to show everyone they are foreigners. They came to this country as foreigners. They arrived here when other people had already built up the country, and they decide that they want to change our country to alter our culture so that their culture dominates instead. They are settler colonisers. Okay, so bad when the white man does it, but good when they do it. Is that right? Allegedly, apparently. Okay. The Yorkshire lass said, I don't know if this ties to Trump's post talking about how any country that relies on windmills is dead. We know net zero is a globalist agenda, which is all about control. Trump says in his statement that windmills are killing politicians, which makes me believe that he means that anyone pushing the agenda is dead. So basically that's Valance, Khan and Miliband fact then, and half of our politicians here in Australia, or more than half. A certain drop 3786 says, congratulations, UK patriots. See, it wasn't just about America. It was about Australia, New Zealand, Canada, UK. Congratulations, UK patriots. Independence is a beautiful thing. Globalism dead? And there you go. That is the actual post. And there was more people that put more things in here too. That was, okay, here we go. Gavin Turner said Five Eyes. RE drops RE Five Eyes, okay, FEIEY, which is Five Eyes, will be extremely important going forward. UK is the primary. Turn taken. FBI, DOJ to state Hussein White House, which is Obama, including CIA. Other appointments start to foreign bad actors. Rod Rosenstein, deadline, we have the server. And another one, normally intelligence passed on from a member of the Five Eyes Alliance, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, the UK and the US, to another member comes through an official channel for intelligence sharing. However, Nunes, upon receiving the document that formally launched the FBI's investigation, said there was no intelligence shared through that official channel, meaning that the intelligence was shared through unofficial means. Very interesting. Big week. General Flynn said, AG Pam Bondi, where are the indictments and arrests? We the people have heard, seen and had enough. Action now required. No more press conferences or media hits. Oh, and it keeps going. What is key clearance? A hint that does that explicitly refer to Department of Energy? Who would have the goods on Uranium One? Does that refer to that person who works in the Department of Energy? No. Does it refer that someone dropping such information has the highest level of security within all departments? Why is this relevant? May 2010, Barack Obama, Russia should be viewed as a friendly partner under the Section 123, the Atomic Energy Act of 1954, after agreeing to a new nuclear weapons reduction deal and helping US with Iran. Who is the enemy? What is being continually stated by all Democrats? Russia is what? Yeah, apparently Russia's the problem, but when Obama was elected, no, it was fine, apparently. What did the Russia reset really provide? Clearance pathway to complete the Uranium One deal? Why is the Canadian PM so important? They never thought they were going to lose. The calm before the storm. So, and it keeps going on and on. Okay, I want to read this one too. Putin is Russia's president. His job is to look after the Russian people. Put yourself in his shoes. He wants to win. Why not take advantage of his enemies? Trump comes along. Russia, Putin becomes our ally. Xi becomes our ally. Xi and Putin are also under attack by the deep state, which is rooted globally. Okay, they're used as pawns, like boogeymen. So, okay, I'm going to leave it at that. Just so you know, UK, your time is coming. How you going, MRH? Good to see you. Cheryl, good to see you too. we got anyone else that's joined that I didn't say hello to? Oh, there's no picture. Sorry, guys. Oh, my goodness. Thank you. Sorry. Hey, Marlo. How you going? Good to see you too. Oh, my God. I'm having a bad day. Just excuse me. Okay, that was that. Okay. And these are the people who are the foreigners that come in and, you know, with people already built up the country. They want to change our country to alter our culture. These were the posts I was just reading about the UK patriots, okay? And the others, Barack Obama, Barack Hussein Obama. Oh, God, love you, Deb.
Deb Richardson tipped $3.28. Black screen today, Hev.
I'm so sorry. You're a legend, Deb. If you can't get my attention, yeah, just do that. That'll get it. No, I'm kidding. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I just didn't look at the comments. So, okay, a man of memes said, if you enforce your own laws, we're not going to send in the National Guard because it's unnecessary. But if you let violent rioters burn great American cities to the ground, then of course we're going to send federal law enforcement in to protect the people. And that's JD Vance. Okay, Chris Rose said in Birmingham they've upgraded to putting 2 flags per post. It looks even better. Go, guys. Oh, that looks really good, guys. Fantastic. We need to see this in Australia. Flags everywhere. Okay, Paul A. Zapula said woman in California registered her dog to vote, then illegally voted with the dog using mail-in voting. She now faces years in prison, ban mail-in voting, because this is how it can be used. OC woman charged with registering dog to vote, 62-year-old Laura Lee Urex, accused of registering her dog Maya to vote. Ballot cast in 2021 recall election, 2022 attempt rejected. Faces up to 6 years if convicted. Go for it. Go after them. They should ban them and make same-day voting, paper ballots only, and then nothing can go wrong. We know about those machines. We know that how they can fiddle with all the votes because we watched it happen in real time. C3 said it's past time judges and district attorneys be held accountable for the crimes committed by the criminals they release back into the public. I'd say that also applies not just to the US, but to the UK, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, all of them. Put a few in prison as accessories for the murders which they caused and watch how fast the crimes stop then. Yeah, exactly. I bet you they would. Hey, Randy, how you doing? Flyby Stu, good to see you guys. Okay, Brad Batten MP said closed. You read that correctly. Mernda Police Station, like many around Victoria, should be open 24 hours a day, but it's shut. Labor can't afford to staff it. They've spent all your money and now they can't fund the police, leaving you less safe. We will fix it. Only the Liberals and Nationals will fix the budget, stop the waste and get more police on the street and more stations open to keep us safe. Not under Susan Lay or Susan Lay. They won't. This has also happened to my local police station, but that happened under Liberals. So it's up to you what you want to believe, you know. Okay.
Mernda Police Station open 24 hours. This is what happens when the Allen Labor government have lost control of the budget. They have to close stations because they can't fund the Victoria Police or backfill the 1,100 vacancies that are on the rosters. The Allen Labor government have to pay so much interest on their debt. This is leaving the communities around Mernda less safe.
Actually, back when Scott Morrison was Prime Minister of Australia, I think we might have had a Labor premier in New South Wales. I'm not 100% sure, might have been Liberal. But either way, this has happened before this. So, yeah, I'm not taking too much stock in what he's saying. Okay. Dr. Malouf said a Christian woman, in Leicester speaks out. Okay, listen to this. We're forced to listen to the Islamic call to prayer 5 times a day from 70 different mosques, but yet they don't want us to ring our church bells. Can someone explain why? Yeah, because they're trying to drive Christianity out and replace it with Muslims.
Get this. The
Whoa.
English Christians within Leicester are having to listen to the Islamic call to prayer 5 times a day from 70 different mosques. Have a listen to this.
Yeah, Timmy, that's right. When I went, whoa. Good to see you, Timmy. You can hear the Islamic prayer.
This is the residents of Leicester's morning wake-up call.
She was either cursed or blessed, one of the two. That'd give you a sore back. Oh, my God.
But yet, they don't want us to ring our church bells. Please, will somebody explain this to me? Somebody make this make sense.
Okay. You should have just done it from the face up, love, because we all got distracted, including me. And I'm a woman, okay? I'm not like that, but even I got distracted. Oh, Timmy, you got to hang around too, because you know why? I had a dream about you last night. Not one of those dreams, okay? I just dreamt I went to America. Anyway, I'll tell you about it later. Okay, well, that was distracting. Holy cow. Norman Brennan said to Keir Starmer, will you please present yourself to Met Police, Charing Cross Police Station today at 2 p.m. You'll be interviewed under the Immigration Act 1971 in that you have failed to protect British borders and have facilitated illegal migration by housing them and not deporting them. You will be entitled to free legal advice from the duty solicitor. See you then. Okay. Because apparently the Immigration Act says they cannot have... Oh, the post is unavailable? No. Okay, here it is. Immigration Act of 1971 UK law. Section 24, it's a criminal offence to enter the UK illegally or overstay. Section 25, it's a criminal offence to assist or house someone here illegally, punishable by up to 14 years in prison. Illegal entrants can be detained and removed. That's the law, black and white, no grey areas. Thousands arriving illegally across the channel, hotels, 3 meals a day, free healthcare, funded by you, the taxpayer. If the 1971 law makes it a crime, then why is our own government breaking it daily? If landlords or employers did the same, they'd be in jail. I think it's coming. Yeah, I do think it's coming, so there you go. Okay, Basil the Great said a very brave lady challenges Subhana Mahmood directly by burning a Quran outside the Houses of Parliament. How long is it going to take until she's arrested? Islam is not a religion of peace. I'll be back doing this again if you make blasphemy laws against criticising Islam. Oh, you can criticise Christians all you like and the Bible and everything like, but God, for God's sake, don't say one thing about Islam. Oh, you'll be Islamophobic. You'll be called all sorts of names. You might even be locked up. Yeah, I think so too, Timmy, honestly. That would hurt your back, having breasts that large. William McGimpsey said, watch Winston Peters delivers remarks on immigration during his address to the New Zealand First Convention. He calls for a smart immigration policy and not more immigration. A greater focus on highly skilled immigrants, a crackdown on using New Zealand as a backdoor to get into Australia, and requiring immigrants to sign up to a New Zealand values document. They should have that in every country. You either live by and abide by and integrate into New Zealand, Australia, the UK, Canada, or out you go. See you later. Okay, we got Ireland. Tommy Robinson, you can stick your Palestine up your ass. Northern Ireland football fans react to Hamas rally. Let's have a listen. Up your hole. You can stick your Palestine. Stick your Palestine. Stick your Palestine up your... Whoops. And Ireland's not the only one doing it. Clandestine said, holy shit, yesterday Pritzker spilled the beans. He says that Trump sending the National Guard into Dem cities is not about crime or immigration. It's about interfering in the elections in 2026 and 2028. Pritzker just softly admitted they are committing voter fraud in Democrat cities. Pritzker and the Dems know Trump's about to deport their millions of illegals in sanctuary cities that they use to steal elections. Trump is about to cut off their source of power, and they know it. Once the illegals are gone, mail-in ballots are banned, we move to same-day paper ballots, the Dems will no longer be able to cheat. They will never win an election again, and their treasonous game is over. Yay. Good on him. Yeah, he just admitted it by saying that's about interfering in the elections. What, by sending immigrants back home? Is that what you were doing? I can't wait till this hits Australia eventually, and the UK, whoops, and everywhere else, Canada, New Zealand. Lozzie B said Japan's the only nation in the world that does not give citizenship to Muslims. I wonder why. Funny how they're not called Islamophobic or racist. Those words are reserved for white people with real fears and concerns about this ideology. Very interesting, isn't it?
Japan is the only nation that does not give citizenship to Muslims. Permanent residency is not given to Muslims. This is in Japan. Propagation of Islam in Japan is banned. In the University of Japan, Arabic and Islamic language is not taught. Japan is the only country in the world with negligible number of Muslims. One cannot import the Quran, which is published in Arabic language. Muslims must follow Japan law and language. The Japanese government is in the opinion that Muslims are fundamental and unwilling to change their Muslim laws, and they cannot practice Sharia law. That's what Japan does to try and curb the nonsense that's going on in this country. And it's not only the Muslims, but it is people from people of African appearance, and there's also Caucasian whites, which are out of control. It is a melting pot of crap, and the Victorian government does fuck all to try and stem it. Nothing. All they do is and reparations for people who it's irrelevant, absolute irrelevancy how this country developed and who was here before it. Get over it. Could everyone be working together rather than us spending $400 million on a voice to Parliament, which was soundly defeated in a referendum a couple of years ago? We are fucked, and we are being run by morons. Morons!
Yep, I've said that plenty of times. We're all being run by morons, guys, okay? Just so you know. Okay, William Mackus, McGill Medicine said new article. Oh, I'm going to read this one. I've bookmarked it to medical on for Rumble. I don't know if we'll get to it today. I wouldn't mind just doing a watch with me because I need a little bit of a break from the news. Flopping Aces said the stage is set for one of the biggest battles in Washington in decades, Trump versus the Fed. Last Friday, Stephen Moran, a Trump advisor, testified before the Senate Banking Committee on his nomination to the Fed. This isn't about one man, it's about breaking a myth. For 40 plus years, we've been told the central bank independence is sacred, a priesthood of technocrats above politics protecting democracy. The truth, independence was always a myth, a useful lie. Trump knows it. That's why he fired Fed Governor Lisa Cook over alleged mortgage fraud and nominated Mirren, who has argued the president can dismiss Fed governors at will. The establishment is freaking out. Why? Because the Fed's supposed independence has been the perfect shield for unpopular policies. Want austerity? Blame the independent Fed. Want high interest rates? Blame the markets. Voters never get to hold anyone accountable. But history tells a different story. The Fed was created by Congress in 1913. Humphreys-Hawkins Act, 1978, made it report to Congress. Bernanke himself admitted the Fed will do whatever Congress tells us to do. In reality, central banks and treasuries are inseparable. They coordinate daily. In most democracies, the government can legally override the central bank. Independence, always conditional, always an illusion. And what did the independent experts deliver? Total blindness to the 2008 crash, failure to revive inflation after, catastrophic rate hikes after 2020 that fueled inequality. This is expertise? James Galbraith put it bluntly, 50 years ago the Fed mattered, today it does not. Global capital markets dwarf the Fed's old tools. Their power is exaggerated, but their failures are real. The only central bank truly built to be independent, the ECB. And what did it do? 2011 forced Berlusconi out by halting Italian bond buys. 2015 shut down Greece's banks to impose austerity. Independence equals authoritarianism. Look at Liz Truss in the UK. We were told the markets punished her. In reality, the Bank of England orchestrated her downfall by refusing to stabilise markets after she challenged their authority. Independence isn't protecting democracy, it's vetoing it. The myth gave unelected technocrats the power to overrule elected governments without accountability. Trump's war on the Fed is exposing the ruse. The real question is simple. Who should control money, accountable elites or the people elected to government? Until the myth of central bank independence is smashed, we'll remain trapped in a system where power hides in the shadows and democracy is an illusion. And there you go. If you like that, you can follow Flopping Aces on X. Nice name. Okay, where am I? Down here. Okay, there we are. Eric Doherty. Now I'm stuttering. Oh my God, President Trump just put a reporter in her place. Okay, let's have a listen. Hopefully we can hear it. Okay, we can't really hear it. So, reporter said, are you going to go to war with Chicago? Trump said, when you say that, darling, that's fake news. Listen, be quiet. Listen, you don't listen. You never listen. That's why you're second rate. We're not going to war. We're going to clean cities up so they don't kill 5 people every weekend. That's not war. That's common sense. There you go. Okay, this one also has been bookmarked to medical because I'm not sure. Yeah. Not sure about that, if I can say that on here. Okay, I don't even know about this one. The Yorkshire lass said Russia announces a cancer vaccine is ready for use, free for all patients. They shouldn't call it a vaccine. Crickets from the MSM dropped 735. How long will we have to wait for the cures of cancer and other sickness? Chatter amongst those in control has begun. They know we know, which means the public will know. Release prior to cover-up. Public informed and collapse. Which option? Yep. They had the choice to release it prior to, cover up. Public informed and collapse. Which option? They can either give it to us or it'll be forced from them and then they collapse. That's Big Pharma. Okay. Charlie Kirk said, Dear CNN, WAPO, New York Times, ABC, NBC, etc. If you want to know why your ratings are in the tank and no one likes you, look no further than the brutal murder of Irina Zarutska, who moved to the US to escape the war in Ukraine. A story you refuse to tell. Sadly, she couldn't survive the Democrats' criminal justice system. Yet you wouldn't shut up or stop villainising Daniel Perry, a hero who probably stopped a murder just like hers. Why? Because he was a straight white American male and the perp was black. Shame on you, genuinely. Because this guy stabbed this Ukrainian lady who escaped from Ukraine, apparently the war. And they're not really talking about it. But hey, they'll talk about someone who stops someone from hurting other people. Okay, McAmius said it's just been revealed that those 2 kids that were murdered in gang-related crime using a machete in Melbourne's west was most likely a case of mistaken identity. Victoria Police has also broken ranks from the state government tonight and has stated that youth crime was not in balance with community expectations. Like it's taken 2 more people to die for them to realise this. The state has lost control of the streets in Melbourne, Victoria, all of them. Okay, Basil the Great said horrific. A woman has been raped to death at Blackpool Hospital. Valerie Neal was admitted after suffering a stroke but was expected to make a full recovery. Nobody reported the incident or even noticed the massive pool of blood in her bed for 48 hours. All of the evidence has been destroyed. Full story below. As reported in the BBC 4 days ago, a stroke patient died as a result of being sexually assaulted after she was admitted to hospital, an inquest has heard. Retired clerical assistant Valerie Neal, 75 years old. Just think about that. How awful. I mean, it doesn't matter whether they're children or adults, but just that, Jesus. Died at Blackpool Victoria Hospital on 16th of November 2018, 4 days after suffering a stroke at home in Poulton-le-Flyde, Lancashire. Sorry if I said that wrong. I probably have. While preparing Miss Neal's body to be moved to the mortuary, 3 healthcare assistants identified extensive and significant bleeding around the vaginal area. Forensic pathologist Dr. Alison Armour concluded Miss Neal died not because of a stroke, but because of a forcible sexual assault. Dr. Armour said she thought the injury was inflicted at least 48 hours before death and that it happened after Miss Neal's admission. So in the hospital. The inquest at Blackpool Town Hall was told no concerns were raised either when the healthcare assistants noted Miss Neal bleeding or during her stay in hospital. Detectives went on to order a post-mortem examination as part of an ongoing investigation into allegations of mistreatment and neglect on the hospital's stroke ward. Retired senior investigating officer Jill Riley said the non-reporting of Mrs. Neal's bleeding had an impact on the murder investigation which followed. She said the delay was significant in securing and preserving critical evidence. Valerie's room would have been cleared and used by other patients. There was limited, if any, forensic opportunities. There was no CCTV opportunities in the stroke unit in the wider hospital because the data had overrun and been deleted, while clothing worn by Valerie at the time of death had been disposed of by hospital staff. Access to the unit was considered as the investigation established from staff that entry doors were sometimes propped open and tailgating would also occur. The murder investigation continued 6 years and featured on BBC's Crime Watch program. A £20,000 reward for information was also offered. Despite all of this, no one's ever been charged with assaulting Miss Neal. Miss Riley said all possible lines of inquiry had been examined and exhausted. The inquest is now taking place because the active criminal investigation has ended. The hearing was also told that Mrs. Neal's family, said she was chatty, lucid, and did not appear agitated when they left her at the hospital late on the evening of the 12th of November. The following morning, however, they were told of a marked deterioration in her condition. They agreed to put her on end-of-life care and they were told surgery would give her a very poor quality of life. The inquest is due to resume on Tuesday. Jeez. Yeah, in a proper nation, people would have been rioting in the streets over this. This is our new quality of life, nosediving decade after decade. That is horrific, seriously. Grifty said young British girls putting up signs saying Keir Starmer's a wanker and protect our kids, send them back, shows you just how bad the UK is now. Well done, girls. Yep, it's taken the young ones to do it. Fletch17 said, go ahead, ask Grok if EO13848 still active. What's the penalty for anyone breaking that executive order? I think this National Guard stuff is related. Is Executive Order 13848 still active? Grok said, yes, Executive Order 13848 is still active. A notice from the White House on August the 29th, 2025, continued the national emergency it declared, extending it beyond September the 12th, 2025. There you go. National emergency has been declared. Okay, so they can send the National Guard. Bob said, my electricity bill just came in last Friday and I believe I got charged for the sunlight, the moonlight, the street light, the light of the Holy Spirit and the light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, every time mine comes in, I think that too. But mine is a lot less, actually. I've been very, very careful on turning everything off. Okay, but yeah, I like that. That was good. So he got charged for sunlight, moonlight, street light, the light of the Holy Spirit and the light at the end of the tunnel. Insurrection Barbie said, I want someone to explain it to me like I'm 2 years old. Why is it okay for Qatar to spend $7 billion in our universities and to have our universities have their own Qatar campuses when they don't even have free speech and they are a theocracy? What do you think they're getting for that money? Because I guarantee you it's not a pat on the back. Interesting. And this I posted so I could go up and... Democratic Wins Media said breaking an enormous protest has broken out spontaneously. I doubt that's spontaneous. In DC against Donald Trump's militarisation of city. This is how you fight back. Well done, placards and signs. I don't think that was spontaneous. Yeah, with pre-printed signs. Spontaneous? I don't think so. And bus rides, apparently. They all got on buses. They're not even from DC. Okay? Just so you know. MJ Truth Ultra. Oh, my God. Democrats are actively pushing an 8+ year debunked hoax that Trump raped a 13-year-old girl named Katie Johnson at Epstein's Manhattan home. I looked deeper and what I found was hilarious. Did you know a former Jerry Springer show producer with a history of fabricating claims named Norm LeBow was implicated in these allegations? That's right, here's where it gets wild. LeBow is strongly linked to the pseudonym Al Taylor, a supposed publicist who aggressively promoted the accuser's story and attempted to sell a video of a disguised woman recounting the allegations for $1 million. LeBow's use of this alias is supported by multiple sources, including a long-time associate, who confirmed to The Guardian that LeBow used the Al Taylor identity. The Guardian, which is left-wing, confirmed a telephone number and email address used by Al Taylor were confirmed to also have been also used by Norm LeBow, according to 3 sources who work with both identities. Specifically, an email address provided by Al Bowman, a former colleague, match one used by Taylor in communication with media outlets. A telephone number provided by Bowman for LeBow matched a number used to contact Taylor, and another cell phone number listed on the California lawsuit against Trump had the same 760 area code as LeBow's last known address in Palm Desert, California. In 2024, Snopes contacted LeBow through an email associated with the Al Taylor persona, and LeBow confirmed via a blocked phone number that he was indeed Al Taylor and had used the pseudonym to assist with the accuser's first legal filing and to promote the allegations to journalists. LeBow provided media outlets with a photo purportedly of Al Taylor, which was actually of Al Bowman, a minor Hollywood promoter and again a former Jerry Springer show producer who had known LeBow for over 20 years. Bowman denied involvement in the lawsuits, supported Trump and confirmed that Al Taylor was LeBow, further evidencing LeBow's deliberate misrepresentation. LeBow has a documented history of making false claims, including in 1995, posing as a drug dealer named Ron X. LeBow claimed to have sold drugs to O.J. Simpson on the day Nicole Brown Simpson was murdered, a claim reported by the New York Post but later disputed. In 1998, under the pseudonym Jack Briggs in the documentary Kurt and Courtney, LeBow alleged Courtney Love offered $50,000 to kill Kurt Cobain, a claim Love denied and lacked substantiation. In 2014, using the pseudonym Reverend Bud Green, LeBow falsely claimed responsibility for replacing US flags with white flags on the Brooklyn Bridge, a stunt later attributed to German artists with video evidence. In 1998, former Jerry Springer show guests accused LeBow of encouraging them to stage fights and invent outrageous stories. LeBow's denials and threats when confronted by The Guardian about his identity as Al Taylor, LeBow, as Taylor denied the connection, became agitated and threatened to sue, stating, "We'll sue your ass, we'll sue your ass and own your newspaper's ass as well, punk." Doesn't sound the same when I say ass, does it? This aggressive response, combined with his refusal to confirm his identity in 2016, suggests an intent to conceal his vote. In a nutshell, Norm LeBow's involvement does not definitively disprove the existence of an accuser named Jane Doe or Katie Robinson or Katie Johnson, but Katie Johnson is more than likely a pseudonym. Norm's track record of staging salacious stories for profit, as noted by Snopes and The Guardian, who are both left-leaning, combined with his use of the Al Taylor alias, confirmed via shared email and phone records, and deceptive tactics like misrepresenting a colleague's photo, strongly suggests the allegations against Trump were aggressively promoted by someone with a history of journalistic fraud. I'm only disgusted Rosie O'Donnell's fat ass isn't being sued into oblivion by Trump. Ding, 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 MJ for the knockout. Rosie O'Donnell has said, Trump, he says he wants to protect children, but look what he did to those children on Epstein Island. Katie Johnson, Google it. Let me debunk this for you and tell you how twisted they are. She's referring to a lawsuit filed in California in April 2016 by Katie Johnson, aka Jane Doe. She was represented by Lisa Bloom, the same attorney who offered $750,000 for literally anyone accusers to come forward against Trump before the 2016 election. Bloom's mother, Gloria Allred, also spoke alongside Thomas Massey's Epstein survivors. Do you get it now? Put two and two together? Now let's get back to Katie Johnson. She abruptly dropped all allegations against Trump. She cancelled a packed press conference where she was set to reveal her identity, claiming she feared for her life, and 2 days later she abandoned the entire case. Why? Mainstream media speculated that Trump paid her off, while the Clinton campaign believed the allegations secured their victory. However, it was later revealed that Katie Johnson fabricated the entire story. Originally, she claimed she didn't know her alleged attacker's identity until years later when she saw Trump on The Apprentice. Further investigation uncovered that Trump's name was falsely inserted into her story, and she admitted it. As a result, her credibility collapsed. She dropped the suit for fear of being sued. To top it off, Katie Johnson isn't even her real name. No one knows her real identity. And there you go. And Thomas Massey said, Allred was not at our press conference. I'm sorry you fell for that. Okay. MJ Truth Ultra said this is how deceptive Thomas Massey is. He said Gloria Allred was not at our press conference, but the Epstein survivors damn sure spoke at both events, scheduled on the same exact day. Check for yourself. A lot of the same speakers, they coordinated this shit. Watch for yourself, Allred's presser and Massey's presser. Thomas Massey has now aligned with the MSM, Jasmine Crockett, Gloria Allred, and the Democrats. He doesn't give a shit about any real survivors. The entire point was to make Trump look bad. If it wasn't, he would have done this any time over the last 4 years under Joe Biden, and he didn't. Okay, and people have questions about Tucker Carlson now as well as all the others. Okay, anyway. I haven't even looked into that one yet. Drew Pavlou said the ISIS brides were not even Australian in the first place, the ones they're bringing back to Australia, okay? They refused to assimilate and then they went overseas to join a terrorist organisation at war with Australia. Leave them there. And I agree. Okay, Kobe Thatcher said Bondi Beach, Australia, chance of you can stick your Palestine up your hole, the same as Ireland did, by counter-protesters can be heard as pro-Palestinian protesters gathered on the sand. Shit. I can barely hear it and all that noise, but you can hear it. You can stick your Palestine up your hole. Okay, because the Palestinian protesters thought they'd take over one of Australia's iconic beaches, Bondi Beach, right? And so counter-protesters turned up to show them. Okay, V said manhunt underway after 3 masked assailants armed with a machete, hammer and gun shoot at a suburban family home. A Melbourne family's been left traumatised and are now planning to leave their home after 3 masked men launched a violent attack on their property, with the suspects still on the run. So another machete attack in Jacinta's Melbourne. Again, it seems the machete drop-off bins are being ignored. Yeah, I don't think that works. No mention of the race, but who is it that uses machetes to kill and dismember innocent Victorians? It couldn't be the new immigrants that Jacinta bows over Australians, could it? Yeah, I'm really surprised that these bins didn't work, you know? But yeah, so, okay, people who in Australia who believe that Australians shouldn't have guns, 3 masked assailants armed with machetes, hammers and guns. Do you really think the criminals are going to abide by that law? No? Well, then innocent Australians who can stick up for their family should be armed. Aussie Bot said there is no such place as Nam. There wasn't even a word for country before the British arrived. Chris Woods said immaculate vibes at Camp Sovereignty today. Get on down if you're around Nam. Where the fuck is Nam? I don't even know. Nam sounds like the line The Witch in the Wardrobe. Narnia, was it? Narnia. Well, that's what Nam sounds like to me. I'm sorry. Maybe go and lock yourself in a wardrobe if you're going to call anywhere Nam. Sorry, guys. Chris Mate said, yep, prior to white settlement, all that rape, murder and intertribal warfare must have been positively utopian. His levels of self-loathing are beyond parody. This Ash person here said, our culture is foreign culture. It's made up of 200 years of invasion and immigration. Oh, but look, you're going to stand for the Palestinians, aren't you? Yeah, and all that tribes killing each other and raping the women and children. Oh, that must have been just a utopia just to die for, you know? Drew Pavlo said, why are these psychos flying Palestinian flags on Bondi Beach? Australia exists for Australians, not mentally ill third worldists obsessed with random Arab political sectarian disputes in the Middle East. Bondi Beach is our beach. A beach for Australians. Go home. I wish it was that easy. Oh, you agree, Bella? Do you agree? MJ Truth Ultra said, Dear Stella Emmanuel and everyone else who blames Trump for the vaccines, please read this. A series of questions first, answer in the comments. Does everyone understand that we are in a war, not just for the country, but the future of humanity? Does everyone understand that the pandemic was planned a long time ago and Trump is not a doctor or virologist? How did you feel when the pandemic began? Was anyone scared? That says scarred, but scared. How many people have you known or have you seen throughout this pandemic who are and have been wearing masks or can't wait to get their boosters? How many friends, family members, co-workers have you tried to red pill about these jabs but were told you're a conspiracy theorist? How many relationships have been soured because family members condemned because of the vaccines or the politics surrounding it? Does everyone understand the damage Obama did to our country, to our military, to our space programs, our allies, our police, our children? Does everyone understand what would have happened if Hillary became president in 2016? Final question. I want you to imagine if Trump did not become president and or stop right now and said he was done fighting for our country. How does that make you feel? Who then do you blame? Full stop. We are in a war for humanity. If you don't realise this simple fact, you won't understand a damn thing, point blank, period. Trump is a wartime president. Wartime decisions are not easy. They never are. Wartime generals have to decide which decisions will ensure a victory and the fewest casualties. Trump is not a doctor nor a virologist. He's one man, one single man that became POTUS in 2016, not long ago. Trump did not make these vaccines. Stop blaming him. These vaccines were already made. The vaccines and pandemic were always coming. The NWO, the New World Order agenda, was already planned, patented and ready to go. They wanted everything locked down for many, many years until a vaccine could come and save the day. The 16-year plan to destroy America was 8 years of Obama and 8 years of Hillary. Obama caused unimaginable damage to our country in many ways, but more importantly, he severely weakened our military, most notably our space dominance. If Hillary Clinton won in 2016, they would have gotten 3 SCOTUS judges, hundreds of federal judges. Can you not see the damn problems we would have had if she won? We would have had never-ending lockdowns that would have absolutely destroyed the middle class and would have suffered a catastrophic economic crisis. They would have put us in COVID camps. We would have no judicial help. Guns would have been outlawed. Our First and Second Amendment rights would be gone. Our police would have been defunded. More deadlier viruses were to be released until we were in submission. Biolabs. False flag nuclear attacks would have been planned on US soil to justify war with Russia. Think Uranium One and the sum of all fears. They were going to destroy our already weakened military by destroying our military space satellites, sitting ducks. Our country would have been invaded. China. Billions of people would have died. What the hell do you think the Georgia Guidestones meant when it said to keep humanity to no more than 500 million? As much support and love Trump has, a lot of people support vaccines. They still do. He will never say what you want him to say. There's no benefit doing so. Trump did try to go against the narrative when the pandemic began, and he was vilified. He wanted people to have a choice on masks and jabs, but he was vilified. He wanted life to go on and the economy to stay open, but he was vilified. He offered HCQ and other preventative treatments, but he was vilified. Nothing was good enough, and most Americans bought into the MSM bullshit narrative that we needed a jab to feel safe enough to open the economy back up. And that's why he released them. It was still up to you whether you got it or not. Dr. Stella Emanuel said, MAGA World, who agrees with POTUS that Operation Warp Speed was the greatest thing since sliced spread? If not, say so. And this was in response to that. Yeah, even Elon Musk has said 100%. Oh, hang on. No, this is the next post. I thought I was in there for a minute. Elon Musk said 100%. Kazan D. Acidiu. I'm not sure how to say that. I'm sorry. It's incoherent to want to ban guns while complaining about fascism. Guns are the defence against fascism. That's why in Australia, in the UK, we're all forked. Okay, Craig Kelly, Foundation for Economic whatever, said 7 years ago Peter Dutton tried to warn of the dangers of a soft-on-crime approach being taken by Dan Andrews to African gang violence, but instead of addressing the issue and admitting the truth that there was a growing problem that needed to be addressed, the leftist media, in love with Dan Andrews, accused Peter Dutton of racism and silenced debate. Victoria is now reaping what political correctness sowed. Dutton blamed Daniel Andrews, calling for the Premier to pass stricter bail laws and stop appointing civil libertarians as magistrates. When the police are given a direction from the Premier and state government, which is really a go soft message, it's unacceptable, Dutton said. The Victorian public is really outraged by some of the goings-on. The reality is people are scared to go out to restaurants of a night time because they're followed home by these gangs. Home invasions and cars are stolen. Believe it if you want to. I don't know. Don't trust him either, but anyway. Malcolm Roberts said when a political party cops more than its fair share of mudslinging, they're probably on the money. Green senators routinely apply their double standards to One Nation senators during parliamentary debates. Attempting to discredit the Speaker rather than engage in the contest of ideas is all part of the game for the left. For example, during debate on One Nation, Senator Malcolm Roberts' motion calling for a parliamentary inquiry into the economic realities of mass migration, discussion in the Senate turned into a rational bin fire. Yeah, they started calling them names for calling for a inquiry into the immigration policy. That's all they've got. That's all they've got. Lisa said, breaking, gang violence kills 2 children. Right. While Jacinta Allen, not to be confused with the Jacinta Price, who is the Aboriginal lady. This lady took over from Dan Andrews, this Jacinta Allen one. Okay, we've got one good Jacinta, one bad one, okay, in Australian politics. This is the bad one. While Jacinta Allen rides her bike around posting selfies and planning her trip to China to sell out Victorians, 2 children have been brutally murdered overnight, a boy and a girl. This government cannot and will not protect you. It's up to you to protect yourself. Please, for the sake of the children and the elderly who can't protect themselves, attend the rally on September the 13th, even if you've never protested before. Enough is enough. Stats 11 said not such a great afternoon for those poor kids. It's way past time for the gloves to come off. If the job's too tough, Jacinta Allen, step aside in favour of a real leader. This is what she was doing. Riding around the bush taking selfies instead of looking after the citizens of her state. V said, this is government-endorsed propaganda. The Daily Mail News headline, meet the Aussie men who want to live on the streets and have set up camp in the city just the way they like it. These men are drug addicts and they prefer to spend money on drugs rather than rent. The reason that Daily Mail News printed this article is to deflect from the working Aussies who cannot get a rental because of mass migration. There are nurses sleeping in their cars, doctors living in shared houses, families living in tents, and Jacinta Allen recently received backlash on X for providing a brand new 2-bedroom rental in a city with all transport and amenities to a single middle-aged migrant who's unemployed but has family living nearby who could take her in. Jacinta is a traitor to Australians, as is Albo and Labor, never admitting that there are over 120,000 homeless people who are not drug addicts but cannot secure a rental, and a mortgage is just financially out of reach. They plan to put capital gains tax on your family home, inheritance tax and tax on spare bedrooms that UK tried many years ago, so that you are forced out of your home and make way for migrants. Never be a smug homeowner, because Jacinta and Albo are coming after all of us, not just the renters. Okay? Understand. There are people on the streets who do not want a home, some homeless people, but most of them are drug addicts or mentally, have problems, I'll just say. The opinionated black woman auntie said this is laughable. One time when I had to call an ambulance because I had crippling pancreatitis, 2 female ambos showed up. I had to call for my husband and son to help me get down the stairs and into the ambulance as I was weak and crippled over in pain. What would have happened if my boys weren't home? Lozzie B said reality matters. Majority of women can't meet the physical requirements and standards needed for this role. Now they've dropped the standards to recruit women and lives will be lost. I've trained firefighters, cops and paramedics in the past, and the standard and requirements were high. Not anymore. It's terrifying. DEI is so dangerous. Urgent calls for millions of dollars to attract female fireys in Victoria. Oh, God. Wait until a few houses start burning down and these women can't even do anything about it. Wait until one of the men collapses over smoke inhalation and these women cannot carry him out. Jesus Christ. God help us all. Craig Kelly said, Foundation for Economic something. I believe it's only a matter of time before the coalition splits. I envision a new political group emerging comprising breakaway Liberals, most of the Nationals, Libertarians, One Nation and Family First. Andrew Hastie could lead as leader with Jacinta Nampijinpa, I said it right yesterday, Nampijinpa as deputy. I see no other way. She's the good Jacinta, okay? I see no other way to save Australia. Net zero will likely be the catalyst. The Liberals will likely adopt a weak, appeasing stance on net zero, prompting Hastie and a few others to resign from the Liberal Party. They would then call on all minor parties to join them in forming a new party with policy, I can't wait for this to happen, focused on scrapping net zero, significantly reducing migration numbers, prioritising assimilation over multiculturalism, and holding a referendum to enshrine freedom of speech in the Constitution. With candidates in every seat, democratically elected by members of the new party, this group could challenge Albanese in the 2028 election as a last chance to save Australia. I don't think we're going to make it to 2028, mate. Would you get behind and support such a new political grouping? Yes, I would. But God help us, I don't think we're going to make it to 2028. Jacinta Nampijinpa said Andrew Clennell reported on Sky News Sunday that Alex Hawke, that's no relation to Bob Hawke, is it? Contacted me following my comments on the ABC last Wednesday afternoon that we had a conversation. Let me be absolutely clear. Alex Hawke did not call me, text me or WhatsApp me at that point. What actually happened is that Alex Hawke first rang my office, not my direct number, the following morning on Thursday. After claiming he couldn't reach me, he chose instead to berate one of my staff. He even pressed my staff that if I did not comply with his requests, I would end up like another female member of the coalition who I won't name. Later that day, I sent him a WhatsApp message to call out his cowardly and inappropriate conduct. Only after that message did Alex Hawke and I speak on Thursday evening. If people want to talk about a so-called woman problem in the Liberal Party, then it's this: we don't stand up for women when they are mistreated by our own colleagues. Of course, I regret not being clearer in my comments on the ABC last Wednesday. I know that many Australians of Indian ancestry and Indian migrants living in Australia are distressed, not only by my comments but also in reading associated newspaper coverage. I sought to correct and clarify my comments after the ABC interview. But I've also been disappointed by some media reporting which has been agenda-driven and wrenched my comments from context. And I've had members of the Indian community reach out to me in solidarity. My comments were never intended to be disparaging towards our Indian community, and I wish no ill will whatsoever to the Indian community or any other migrant group. Indian migrants who've come to Australia have a strong record of integration, embracing our values, working hard in many fields of endeavour, and joining the League of Loyal Australian Citizens. It's the amount, mate. As Deputy Mayor and Councillor in the Northern Territory, I've helped Indian migrants with visa and citizenship applications. I've supported businesses run by Australians on Indian ancestry. Indeed, my own children are of Indian ancestry, so are my grandchildren. They've got Indian in them. Our nation has benefited from a non-discriminatory migration policy, a policy that has bipartisan support. We all recognise the important role migration has played in the building of our nation. We all recognise the contributions that so many migrants have made over many generations, migrants who become cherished Australian citizens. Indeed, a defining national achievement has been the weaving together of the Indigenous, British and broader migrant threads of our story. Each bestows an inheritance. My concern, as it is for millions of Australia, is Labor's mass migration agenda and its ramifications. My concern is not migration itself, it's the magnitude. Thank God you said that. Because I was about to just jump off here, and go, nah. So she is. It's the number of them. It's not the Indians themselves, okay, who are some nice people, really, honestly. You got some bad, some good, as you got in every, race or country or whatever. Labor has opened the migration floodgates. It's brought in a record 1.2 million people in its first term. Yes, we need migration, but there's a big difference between controlled, planned and sustainable migration on the one hand and uncontrolled, unplanned and unsustainable migration on the other hand. Migration at the current scale and pace is putting excessive pressures on housing, infrastructure and services. And that makes life tougher for everyone, not just for Australian citizens, but for recently arrived migrants and permanent residents who want to join Team Australia too. Reducing mass migration means more housing, less congestion, better services, and that benefits all families, including the immigrant ones who do want to assimilate. I want to see a better life for all families, whether you're a migrant, a resident or a citizen, and regardless of your background. So I'll continue to speak up with courage on the ramifications of mass migration in the interest of all families and the nation. Yeah, it's the same Alex Hawke who booted Novak Djokovic out of Australia because he was unvaxxed. Yeah, I do believe that a lot of them should leave the Liberal Party because, seriously, with that other sussin in charge, sus, mate, sus, yeah. It's even in her name. Okay. Yep, okay. And also, Donald Trump did say that he was talking and said some vaccines are okay, in response to DeSantis saying that people don't have to get vaccines, okay? It remains to be seen. Anywho, let's go through some of the comments. Yeah, if you can hit the like button, please, and do me a favour. Thank you very much. My cat is playing with the mouse. Like, not a real mouse, my mouse. Okay. Deb, Sherry, Geoloft, Dealey, Michelle, George, how you going, guys? Okay. J1. We're going to jump over to, thank you guys. I am so sorry. I'm not having a good day. Okay, I've got to explain to you. I had a dream about Tim Air last night. It was not one of those bloody dreams, It was very weird though. Okay, I had a really bad night's sleep as well because I had a headache all night and I kept waking up. But I even woke up and went straight back into the same dream. I dreamt that I went to America. I dreamt that Tim Air met me over there. and that he was showing me around. I also had, you know how your dreams get really, really weird? Yeah, well, I dreamt he opened his front door and there was the Rocky Mountains right in front of it with snow all over it. And then I blinked and the mountains were just there with no snow on them. So work that dream out. I've got no idea. But we were going shopping, like we were in shops, going shopping. So it was just, I don't know, it was a very, like the opening the door and seeing the snow there and the Rocky Mountains and then shutting the door and opening it back up and just seeing green mountains. It was like, that's where the weird bit, you know? And then it jumped from scene to scene kind of thing, you know, like movies do. We were in a shopping centre. And then there were other people there as well. We were having a party or something. Timmy was introducing me to people. I don't know. It was just a really interesting dream. Wondering if that's how it would go, you know? There was no funny stuff going on, okay? Nothing like that. It was a very innocent, lovely dream. Okay. It made me want to go to America. That's what it made me want to do. Okay, we got J1 George. Yep, I said hello. Marlo, how you going? Good to see ya. GLoff said it's been a while. Yes, it has. Some of you I haven't seen for a little while. God love you. Deb's J1 said no picture on my end. Anyone else? Yeah, that was me. I'm so sorry. Yeah, we were all blind at the beginning of the stream. Oh, dear. Deb said, can we see the cat? No, because that means turning the picture on, and because I didn't get much sleep last night, I don't look real good. I look actually very horrible. D-Lee said, have no picture. Yeah, no vision today at all. Yep, no video, have. Took a while. Can you see it now? Michelle Ebb said, have black screen. Deb said she could be coming live in the dark. Geoloff said the audio is perfect. Hav's gone dark. No, have a laugh over it, guys. That's the way to go because just my stupidity, you know. Cheryl, how you going? Have after dark in the dark. Wonder what Hav's doing. God love you. Cheryl's, sorry, I read that one. George said anyone with Hav's number should send her a text or call her. They probably tried. I heard my phone ding, but I didn't look at it. Hey, MRH, good to see you. Sorry about the bad start to the stream. Flyby Stu said black screen must be the latest thing. Good morning, everyone. How you going, Flyby? Oh, dear. Cheryl said, old blind bat, she ain't what she used to be. Come on, everyone, sing with me. The old blind bat, she ain't what she used to be. Ain't what she used to be. I don't know that one. It's probably me, though. Cheerloff said, video's perfect. I can see again, said D. Lee. Hang on, I got a cough. Okay. Cheryl said, joining the Having a Bad Day club starring Hev and the cats in the house. Yeah, definitely. George said, I can see clearly now the rain has gone. MRH said, I thought I was watching the end of The Sopranos with a black screen. Oh, my God. Oh, that's funny. Sorry, hopefully next time I jump on it won't be like that. I've got a really sore back too, so I know the headache's coming from my back. My bed's freaked. I'm going to throw it out this week. Yeah, Cheryl, that's what I thought. I can see clearly now the rain has gone. And Randy, how you going, Randy? And Cheryl said, don't forget, people, I'm Out of Sight and Dynamite. How about you? Ah! Is that who Out of Sight and Dynamite was? God love you? Or are you just saying that's how you feel? Yeah, Tim S said, holy boobs. Hello all. How you going, Tim? It's great to see you. We're all getting a bit worried about you. George said, those are deadly weapons she has. And Dealey's laughing and said, Timmy. Deb said, hello to our doctor in the house, Timmy. Hopefully Timmy can join me on Rumble. I was going to ask Alex too, but she's not here. God love her. Flyby said she does a lot of shorts on YouTube. Oh, God love her. No, the lady, like, I've nothing against the poor lady. That would just, yeah, that's how long it took for me to flip the screen on. Nothing against the lady. I just think it would have, like, I got distracted, and I'm a woman, and I'm not like that. So if it's distracting me and I'm not a lesbian or anything, right, well, I can just imagine, you know. Having a sip of my tea, sorry, guys. Where's my mouse? My cat's in the way. Deb said, start playing our music non-stop, full blast. George said, okay, fly, lol. J1 said, George, you could stick your head between them and you wouldn't hear it. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, Deb said, bad camera angle. Tim S said, or a good camera angle, Deb. Deb said she can't understand why people don't take her seriously. Fun bags. Tim S said, poor lady, though, this can't be comfortable. That's what I thought. That cannot be, like, that would hurt your back. I've got a cough again. This is ridiculous. Okay. Deb said she can't even hold the camera for the weight. Geoloff said, did you know that the ever-talented Mr. Dan Andrews was a special guest to President Xi to take in the CCP military parade? Yes. A bit fishy or so it seems. Yes, I did say that. Cheryl said, yep, my cousin had to have her jigglies reduced because of back pain. I could imagine. Deb said, and your neck. Interesting. I didn't realise it. Yeah, but it would affect your neck too, wouldn't it? Okay, George said, British football fans have the best football chance. Deb said, smartest. Flyby said, moving to Japan, methinks. George said, Labor are the biggest morons. Yes, they are. J1 said, oh, shit, I just done a detox and the shit that just came out of my tear duct was huge, lol. Really? Wow. Geoloff said he's correct about Japan, but they handle most of the problems covertly. They really don't make a scene when they work deep undercover to build a case, and when they got you, you are done. Stu said, I agree, Hev, all this news so depressing after a while. Hope everyone's well. How you going, Stu? I just need to, like, chill. Flyby Stu said, turkey tail mushrooms for the big C. J1 said, hi, Stu. Yep, doing better. And Han, I was last time I was here. Oh, that's good, J1. Thank God. Tim S said, I'll call BS on the cancer jab. What if it's ivermectin and mebendatil or something like that in an injection form? That's what I mean. They shouldn't call it a V. They shouldn't call it a vaccine. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. I have no idea. We're just going to have to wait and see. But I'm not taking anything unless I know what's in it and can verify that it's okay. Geoloff said Japan has 98% conviction rate. Don't ever screw around in Japan and China is even worse. In China, they will disappear you with or without a conviction. South Korea will make you wait and go bankrupt. There you go. Oh, well, don't do that, Bella. That's not good. J1 said this auto spell is shit. I know. Flyby said, Stuart, not PID today to you. Timo said, unless it's a jab that gives it to you. George said, I will not have any jab. Stu said, what about a $500,000 reward for those pricks captured? Stu said, hey, Dealey, George, Hev, Deb, Alex, and J1. Is Alex in here? I didn't think she was. I haven't seen her, I don't think. Stu said, Desi was living at the end of Buffalo Creek Road. Oh, God love you.
Timar28G tipped $20. Shopping. A fav hobby of mine. I do host rather large gatherings a few times per year. Also, right out my front door I can see a very tall snow-covered mountain. It's not in my house.
Ah, perhaps she was standing at my front door and saw the reflection. Yeah, well, there you go. Most of my dream was correct except that last bit there. I mean, that bit where you open the front door and there's the snowy mountains in front of you. And then the next time I opened the front door, it was just green mountains. I was like, did the seasons change? Like, have I been here for like 9 months and think it's only one day or something? God love you. Thank you, you legend, Timmy. Oh, yeah, Stu was saying Desi was living at the end of Buffalo Creek Road. That's right where I used to live and roam the bush. J1 said, I think they're all cancer ones. George said, a friend of my family had to get the jab to visit USA, heart attack the day after getting it and passed away. Oh, no. Yeah, that's sad. Dealey said, that's sad, George. Stu said, I got free rent in the pickers' huts for removing snacks. Tight there, but 20 years ago. Deb said, Jesuit goes working overtime. Get the still following the Jesuit? Stu said, I could lose anyone there, here and there, but a little, could lose anyone there and there, a little hut there. J1 said, Stu, maybe you could get the same deal as at Parliament House. Stu said, should I say anything? I could lose anyone there and there, a little hut there. I don't get it. I don't know. GLF said, eyes on Venezuela, Brazil, Germany, Japan and China. Venezuela tie US to attempt replacement of President Maduro, Brazil to sentence President Bolsonaro and Germany's ADF controlling party. Deb said, I did not have a dash cam, but I took a few pictures while driving. Deb said, I bet she's just as bad. George said, looking forward to watching the X-Files on Rumble. Yeah, me too. Yep, me too, Deb. Yep. And hopefully Timmy can join us. Yeah, I like it when I have good dreams, you know, nice dreams, not weird, freaky, horrible, nightmarish dreams, which it was not one of them, thank God. So, but I got the other bit right of shopping. He likes shopping, so he took me shopping and we were going food shopping. That's what it was. It was food. And I think for a party that he was having, and then it was the party that we were at, you know. It's not in my house. Perhaps you were standing at my front door and saw the reflection. No, it's not in your house. No, I know it wasn't in your house. It was opening your front door from the inside, looking out and seeing the Rocky Mountains. Yeah, kind of like that picture you showed me, but there was a front door, like it was framed by a front door, you know? That kind of thing. Maybe I didn't explain it properly. GLF said Germany ADF members, 7 members found dead on the same day in election. In 1 week, no replacements. Japan sacks PM as he claims he resigned at the same time. China presidential, military and population power struggle. Sherry said Massey's a rhino. Yes. Yes, it's looking more and more that way, isn't it? I probably knew that years ago and forgot all about it. George said no such place as Palestine. I agree. Yeah, Deb, Narnia business. Narnia is Narnia business. Gerloff said Chicago, Illinois city gangs are threatening the feds if and when they show up. Chicago gangsters make threatening videos mainly on TikTok platform. Yep. Deb said, yes, Narnia land is what I thought. Timo said Vietnam. Could be. No, I was saying Narn. Yeah. Narn. N. I don't know. There's 2 A's or N's or something in there. Deb said, hello, Bella. Dealer said Vietnam is what I thought too. Timo. George said I was not scared. I did not wear a mask or have the jab. Me either. I didn't even do what they told me to. I went out when I felt like it. I put a broom in my car and, you know, if I got pulled over, it was going to be, yeah, I'm going to clean for my mum, my elderly parents, you know. Deb said the benefit outweighs the danger. Shannon said, Smoko, 15 minutes. Flyby said if Hillary, how you going, Shannon? Good to see ya. Flyby said if Hillary would have gotten in 2016, they wanted to jab the world by force. Exactly, it would have happened. Deb said getting rid of the useless eaters. Shannon said, did you look at the lake in Balmira, Debs? Deb said, I was wondering who was on the hit list as useless eater. J1 said, I love my Vegemite and eggs on toast. I love my Vegemite and eggs on toast. Okay, saying that many times. You can stick your hummus up your hole. The Georgia Guidestones got destroyed. Yep, George said. Deb said, I've spent lots of wonderful times at the Bonnie. That's why he took me to a place I've not been yet. Deb said, I hope all the dads had a great Father's Day. Yes. Yesterday was Father's Day here in Australia, and I hope all the dads had a fantastic Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. And I spent the day, well, a few hours with my dad. And guess what? My daughter and I were talking about the state of things, okay? She wanted to know, she didn't know the difference between the left and the right. Well, like, what does the left believe compared to the right? Because she does not pay attention to news or anything. And I was trying to explain to her, well, then it got into politics. And unexpectedly, my dad's, who I normally don't always agree with, agreed with me. And I was like, I looked at him and went, oh my God, Dad, good on ya. Like, he knows. Like with immigration, that is, mass immigration. Because my daughter said, it just sounds racist. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's mass immigration we're against, not all immigration, okay? George said, I miss my dad. Oh, God love you, George. He was a good Irish man. Oh. Yeah, I love my dad. I love my mum and dad, you know, even though my mum was a bit funny at times, I still love her, you know, like. But yeah, my dad was just, you know, a really good man. Deb said, yes, my birth father passed away 30 years ago. I'm lucky enough to have an awesome stepfather that spoils me just as much as my birth father. Oh, lovely. Stu said, yeah, it's Happy Bastards Day for me if it weren't for Max. Oh, God love you, Stu. Shannon said, work on your AIM windows. Deb said, yes, can't manage themselves. Shannon said, okay, back to work for me. Boo. Catch you later when you're watching the replay, Shannon. God love you. Deb said, no, thank you, no vote of confidence here. George said, take care, Shannon. Flyby said, my friend just gave me 5K of rhubarb. Be making a few crumbles in the next... Oh, apple and rhubarb. Yum. Where was I up to? Rhubarb and custard, yummy, said George. Flyby said, been my favourite since school days all them years ago. Yeah. George said, my nan used to make rhubarb crumble. My mum used to make rhubarb and apple pie, and I loved it. Sherry said, I love rhubarb strawberry pie, George. It's, rhubarb and strawberry. Stu said, rhubarb and custard. Hey, Carl, how you going? Deb said, and yet was let back in without getting a jab. And Tim S. said, do tell. That was about the dream I had. Deb said, yes, rhubarb and custard, yum. J1 said, blood moon dreams. Sherry said, never had rhubarb and custard, Deb, I have to give it a try. George said, if things get any worse in the UK, I'm off to the American Embassy. Flyby said, Hev, get your head out of the gutter for fuck's sake. Yeah, well, when I say I dreamed about someone, people normally look at me like, oh, really? Yeah, it's not one of those ones. Stu said, you've sent him into bankruptcy. Stu said, no, hope he's okay. Deb said, it's okay, Hev. Tim S. said, it is one of my favourite hobbies, shopping. I do host rather large gatherings from time to time, a few times per year, in fact. And right out my front door, I can see very tall, snow-covered mountains. It's not in my house. Perhaps you were standing at my door and saw the reflection behind you. No, I was standing inside your house looking out the front door. That's where I was. I was inside the house, so yeah, that now makes sense. So my dream was nearly right. Deb said, I'm looking forward to Hev picked from Colorado. Yeah. Deb said, I love that song. Stu said, Tim has been lurking. Cheryl said, it's a new rendition of the old grey mare. She ain't what she used to be. Yeah, I don't know if I know that. I'd have to be refreshed. I probably do know it, but need to be refreshed. Deb said, yes, you must need a new bed. Cheryl said, say I am, out of sight dynamite. Remember Pedro and Mr. Gatto? Yes. Geloff said, had a long night of shopping and sightseeing in America. If you're willing to hoot with the owls, be ready to soar with the eagles. Yeah, it's probably I probably did too much. That's why I got a sore back and a headache. No, but I had it yesterday. Just I kept waking up all night with the headache still, even though I took enough, well, the limit of what I can take on painkillers. Deb said, well, thank God the screen did come on or we would have missed those big, beautiful chest, what do you call them, chest bags. Deb said, awesome, Cheryl. Stu said, the old grey mare. Cheryl said, when homeless all summer getting ready to be housed again this coming week. Oh, God love you, Cheryl. Yeah, I'm moving in with family. George said, I bet they're comfortable to fall asleep on. Yeah, but maybe not for her when you're falling asleep on them, because sometimes they, they can hurt. I don't know. Flyby said, bed springs create frequency when depressed, had problems with one, sold it, cost big bucks. I sleep on a futon mattress now. Yes, well, I've got an ensemble, which means that the base and the mattress, and it's double pillow. So the mattress has a pillow top on both sides. So, when you turn it over and flip it over, it's pillow top on that side too. It's too soft for me. And the single bed I'm going to be using has a steel frame, and the mattress I don't believe has springs in it because it came all rolled up. And once you unroll it and the air gets into it, it just goes, Sorry, that sounded weird. Deb said, yes, I have a neck problem, just saying. And Stu said, Lily the pink. Yeah, I have neck problems too, Deb, and I don't think, no, that can't be that. Cheryl said, same and more, Deb. Deb said, Bella's using Morse code to the other cats, yes. And Deb said, Timmy. And Deb said, how wonderful, Hev dream. I think Hev should visit our Timmy. Yeah, well, it was out of the blue. I mean, I haven't, spoken to Timmy about that since he suggested it ages and ages and ages ago. And, it just popped out of the blue and it was like, oh, wonder if that's like a premonition dream. Stu said, sorry, Hev, typing in one hand and in the other ball of muscle, not that muscle down the street walking the dog. Stu said, I was trying to say I found this hut no one knows about. It's my million piss off. Oh, yeah, go and live in it, Stu. If you can you? I don't know. Stu said no one could find me if I was trying to stay. If I was trying to say. Okay. Deb said I love Vegemite and eggs too. Stu said not telling you. Yeah, now keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself, Stu. Use it if you can. Deb said, Scott, nothing to do with you. Scott, nothing to do with you. Stu said, it's overgrown in the middle of nowhere. First thought I had, if I ever need to escape, this is number one place in Australia. Definitely. George said, a bit far for me, Stu, lol. Timmy said, strawberry rhubarb pies are one of my special... Timmy, if I ever do get over there, you're going to have to make me one. Timmy said, that's kind of freaky how accurate that dream was. I know. Well, I even woke up and went back, and that doesn't normally happen. Once you wake up and you're up and you roll over and that, it normally, you don't go back into the same dream. Well, I did. George said, never tried a strawberry rhubarb pie. Flyby said, can you put honey in rhubarb crumble? Not bought any sugar for years? Probably. Tim said, I jokingly call large breasts sweater puppets. That's a good one. Sorry to anyone who has large breasts and gets offended over that. I'm very sorry, but, they kind of stick out, man. Like, what are you supposed to do? You can't help notice. Sorry. Deb said, I had a dream of our Timmy when he was in hospital. I had the WhatsApp symbol flashing in my dream. Oh, really, Deb? 18FF. Stu said, rhubarb is so tang, not bitter, but acquired taste. Oh, I love it with apple. Like rhubarb and apple pie. Yum. J1 said, Dad used to say I could sleep on a barbed wire fence. Geoloff said, are you taking magnesium, Hev? Yes, I am. Flyby Stu said, J1 takes me back. My old man used to say I could sleep on a washing line, lol. Deb said, Stormy stopped taking his glycinate thinking he doesn't need them because he was on them for 3 months. Funny, not funny. Stormy suffering from severe cramping in both legs on the holiday. Oh, no. Okay, with that, guys, can you meet me over on Rumble in about 10-15 minutes and hopefully Timmy can join us while we watch the X-Files? We're going to have a watch with me over there. Okay, I hope you have a good morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you are. And I'll talk to you soon, guys. Bye.